Hi, everybody. Welcome to my SimulMaster Simul for April of the year 2015. This is Grandmaster John Fedorowicz from the United States. I'm sitting here in Greenwich Village, New York. Simul's about to begin. Geography Wiz told me thanks for giving my time to play him today, and Geography Wiz, thank you for playing me also. And I wish everybody good luck, and I hope we have a good time. Last month, I think I actually had my best simul. I think I only lost one game, and so I'll see. My average is usually losing about 4 games, and out of the 20. And these simuls are pretty tough. A lot of good players. Okay, let's get started. Uh, First game up, I'm against Valai. Welcome to the Simul, and I guess today I haven't really thought about it. I've been watching the U.S. Championship a lot, which is going on in St. Louis, and very interesting tournament with Nakamura playing, and also a lot of good games in both sections with the men's and the women. So Lonfa says, "Good luck, friend. Good luck to you too, and hope we have a good simul here." D4 Mu hit, and Osmandius the seventh, I guess. I was never good with that. It was a V with the one and the one. So, and he's from Canada, one of my favorite countries. I'm playing there next month. Pro Hacker, we've definitely played before. Hi, Pro Hacker. He says hi from Switzerland and good luck. And I'm hi from Greenwich Village, New York, where it's not bad weather, but it's not great, but it's okay. And Pokemon Dude 9298 and Tired Dad. So welcome everybody, and let's see, we still haven't gone. All right, now we've gone through the whole thing. Pokemon Dude is a Queen's Gambit. Aaron Trobo, I played D4 in that game, so we have a few D4 openings going, and I mixed it up today. Perhaps we'll get some Sicilians, Lufus, maybe a Petrovs or a Perk, and Doctor Strange move, a Scandinavian or a center counter. I don't know. When I was a kid, it was called center counter. That's E4, D5. E takes D5. Nowadays, it's become the Scandinavian. I don't know why, but it's all the same. And T-Knight. So the U.S. Championship is an interesting tournament. The Women's World Championship, I don't really understand, because I thought Hu Yufan was the Women's World Champion, and now there seems to be Muzi Chuck, I saw, won her match today, and so she is a world champion. So I'm not sure if they play each other or how that works exactly. But I was following that and the Arafat tournament. So there's a lot of chess going on, and that's always fun. I don't know. I mean, I'm a chess player, so I enjoy watching chess, and I probably really think chess is more exciting than baseball or golf. I've never golfed, and baseball is just an American kind of thing. So it's an American taste, and I like baseball, but I got to admit, sometimes it is long and boring. Okay, French defense from Brownie Baker. Valai, I'll play knight f3, and it'll be a Queen's Indian. I think that I was starting to think about whether I should get involved in maybe playing some other things. The Queen C2 Nimzo-Indian. When I'm at World Youths and I'm preparing my students, the Queen C2. Whenever we see when we're preparing for black and we face Queen C2, it's just so hard because you can't really get greedy against the opening. It's just such a solid opening for white, and really, depending how strong a person is, I mean, if you know that opening well enough, it might be an opening where you just maybe you never lose with it, or if you lose, it's certainly not going to be too often, because it's very hard for black to find something that, well, there's nothing aggressive that's any good. That's one thing about the Queen C2 Nimzo-Indian. Okay, Pro Hacker, maybe a Benoni or Benko Gambit. I've got a number of Sicilians going today, which is different than the usual thing. Pokemon Dude, I'll play my pet line against the Slav Queen C2. Mohit, I've been playing the same-ish a lot lately, and with I don't know. When I was living with Larry Christensen in Germany, we both played the same-ish. That was our opening back then, and I think the same-ish is still a pretty decent thing to play for white against the King's Indian. The King's Indian really sometimes is lately. I think it's really running into some difficult times, and I don't know whether it's computers or whether people are just getting good. Not sure about that, but there's got to be some sort of reason. It seems like anti-positional openings run into trouble much more than they used to. And you get these engines. Like I'm watching the U.S. Championship, and sometimes I check these Houdinis and whatnot, and these things. Sometimes they don't understand the position, but they're very good. And it's always cracked me up that you could buy something for $70 that might be able to beat Magnus Carlsen. I mean, that's pretty cool. Okay, chess 24. We're in a kind of a E4 opening with the Nimzovich type of position. Valaya has gone bishop to B4 and Rogozin. Dr. Strange move. We're in a center counter. Scandinavian, where he captured with the knight on d5. He didn't try for any of that Portuguese variation, tricky stuff with bishop to g4, although I know what I'm doing in that thanks to Joel Benjamin, who would help me every now and then. And I'd ask him, how do you play against this crazy opening? And he was always very good with it. Joel was sort of like my unofficial coach, and sometimes we helped each other, as good friends would. So 95. Canes were in a time and off, and I've been playing a lot of these G3 things lately, so I think I'm just going to do a G3 against the time and off. Exchange French from Brownie Baker. Queen E7 in the Bogo Indian from Air and Trobo. I think Queen E7, in my opinion, is one of the better lines for black. If you're going to play the Bogo Indian, Kenneth, we're going to be getting a Benoni. T Knight 16, we're in a Slav, and Osmandia's set up for a Slav, and now he's transposed into a Stonewall Dutch setup where I've played E3. And my bishop is stuck on C1, so I'll just develop with bishop to D3. It gives me the option of putting a knight on E2, which, as in some queen's gambits, is a pretty good thing to do. So Dark Prince, we're in a queen's gambit accepted, solid opening, very solid opening for white. Classical perk against Lufas. I've always played a classical against the perk. I remember. I studied Walter Brown games. I remember that Austrian attack with F4, but that one you don't see too often either, really. So, it's something like the perk where black is just trying to be solid. White should be able to get a slight edge just with the classical play, and that's why I just play the classical perk as white. Open Sicilians against AK 1966 and Brownie Baker. Exchange French, and he played knight d7. Another good line in the exchange French is bishop d7. I actually think bishop d7 is a tougher nut to crack than the one he chose. But knight d7 is good. I think all those exchange variations in the French are pretty good. If I was ever going to play a French, I was always a Sicilian player. If I was ever going to play a French, probably I would pick some exchange variation, or maybe something with the win hour. I remember when I was playing a U.S. championship, my last U.S. championship that I played in was 2008, and I got paired with Yuri Shulman. And I was playing the win hour then, and I studied Yuri Shulman's games, and Yuri Shulman played against that win hour with the black pieces so well that I switched to playing the Tarish with knight to d2. I think at least with the Tarish you get a position against somebody that really knows his stuff in the win hour. You can really run into some problems with the white pieces. Okay, Pro Hacker, we're in a check Benoni. I always liked playing those locked positions. I don't know why. I was always pretty decent with it. Pokemon Dude, I'm not sure about Pokemon Dude's move here. Um, Queen C7 might allow me to do a trick. If I capture on D5, what does he do in return? Already, I think I'm starting to get on. I think this is the first game where something has really gone slightly off for someone. So I'm going to go pawn takes D5, see what Pokemon Dude has cooked up for me. Doctor Strange move, that's the Scandinavian. We're rolling through the book. Chess 24. In this Nimzovich with Bishop H5, usually I remember some kind of weird stuff like white can try to cancel queen sign. Moves like queen to E2 might be a good move. Benoni with Kenneth. Benoni is another one. I don't know if the theory in the Benoni is really what has happened to it. I mean, it seems like it's just become a better position at this point for white. Maybe anti-positional. I'm not sure the reason. And there's a few decent lines to play against it. Okay, Osmondius has gone bishop to D6. I was almost castled, and then I thought, does he really have bishop takes H2 and knight G4 check, and then I have to check. I mean, king G1, obviously queen H4. And so I have to be a little careful with that. I might have to play H3 or F3. I think I can go F3 and stop that kind of stuff. Okay, so I haven't had. I would like to have a Simul where I don't lose any games. I don't mind having some draws, but I haven't had I like to have one where, but it's hard. I mean, I was looking at watch the other guys doing the Simuls too, and nobody comes up with a perfect score. Okay, Jay Russell is playing a dragon. I'm gonna do the Yugoslav attack. Doctor Strange move. We're still in some book stuff. Brownie Baker with the exchange variation, French knight takes F6. I remember Alexander Ivanov playing C3 and winning a good game in the U.S. Championship. I think it was against Anna Zatonsky. And so he won a good game there with that, and that was pretty interesting. Okay, Keynes is I'm castling. That's in the time and off. And C5 from Valois. Now, these Rogozin openings are very tricky because sometimes black jumps to C3 square very quickly, so white has to be careful of that sort of thing there. The main thing is to usually if white castles in those kinds of things, it becomes okay. But sometimes it's hard to castle in those positions, and that's that's an interesting thing there. I think maybe it's sort of an easy way out of it could be to play something like bishop to B5, maybe with some pin business going on, threatening maybe bishop takes F6 right away. I mean, the serious book is probably something like bishop to D3 or something like that. I don't know. I guess I'll try, and there's other moves too. I think I remember preparing this for somebody, and I thought for some reason D takes C5 was a good move. Not sure about that. I think I'm gonna just try. I think I'm gonna try actually bishop to E2, and we'll see what happens with that. And okay, so Pro Hacker, we're in the Czech Benoni, and now Lufus has played knight BD7. I thought the normal procedure there was to go knight C6, D5, bishop takes F3. This isn't the classical perk. So now I don't know. I'm wondering, do I want to play H3 here myself and just get the bishop? Usually, in those positions, black winds up going bishop takes F3 anyway. So now, if I go H3, am I losing a tempo or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm going to go H3. I think it's the right move in this position. Knight takes C3 from Doctor Strange move. Usually knight takes c3, it helps white because it solidifies the center. That's in the Scandinavian. AK 1966 looks like we're headed for maybe a Kalashnikov. I never understood the Kalashnikov. It's not a bad opening, but if I was going to play the Kalashnikov, somehow I would talk myself into playing the Sveshnikov, because I think the Sveshnikov is just better than the Kalashnikov. The ideas are similar, but the Sveshnikov, you get more action going, and that's why I would go for that. I'm always looking for some action. Okay, Muhit has played e5 in the Samish, and I like those lines. I always thought the Samish, the best way to play would be to just play with the C5 lines like Kasparov did. Benko Gamut kind of stuff, openings like that. Okay, 98, so we're in big Czech Benoni theory from Pearl Hacker. AK 1966, D6. I remember the first time I ever played against the Kalashnikov. I don't even think it had a name then. And Valery Salov played it against me in Vikings A. In what I forget what it was called back then. It was just Vikings A. I don't think. Well, was it named? Yeah, it was a Hogovens, I think, was the company sponsoring it. And I just thought that Salov forgot to play knight f6 or something like that. And so I played c4. I remember when I was a kid, somebody told me the reason for knight f6 in the Sicilian was to stop the Maroczy point. So when people don't do that, I just automatically try to Maroczy point stuff. So that's what I'm going to do in that game. Jay Russell, we're going to be in a Yugoslav attack dragon. And we're getting involved in the big theory here from in that Rogozin thing. And I think castles is the right move. And then there's some sort of like bishop takes knight and stuff like that, and there's pins. Okay, I got what would a Simul be without a couple Petrosian variations of the A3 Sicilian? Dark Prince is playing very solidly in a Queen's Gambit accepted. Queen's Gambit accepted is another really solid international tournament type of opening. Just very, very, very nice opening. Now let me see. Osmandia, I'm trying to figure out what should my plan in this position be. I can just develop simply with bishop to d2. This isn't a Stonewall Dutch. Or do I want to play for e4 with, say, queen c2 and e4? Or should I just take it easy with bishop to d2? All right, I think queen c2 looks okay. I'm still on the lookout for tricks. If I played e4 here, he'd have some bishop takes h2 and queen h4 thing at the end of it. Or maybe just a queen h4 straight out, attacking my bishop on e4 and the queen on h4. So at least queen c2 starts to prepare it a little bit if I decide that e4 is the right thing to do. And to tell you the truth, I'm not really convinced that it is. So now let's see. So bishop c5 from Keynes, and that's in the we're in the timing off, and I played g3. Now can I reply bishop? I'm trying to see, can I reply bishop to e3, or do I do some stuff here with knight takes c6 and trying to get in the e5 idea? I think that bishop to e3 looks right, and then there's no queen b6 type stuff because of knight a4. So I think that looks like a decent sort of move. I have to look. I don't know. I mean, maybe queen d6 could be a move after bishop to e3, and then I don't want to get into a situation where I take and he takes on e3 and my pawn structure gets ruined. But okay, I think that I'm going to go bishop to e3. And we're in the Slav from T-Knight 16, still in the early going. I'm going to try 9 castles against Jay Russell. Pearl Hacker with the G6 in the Czech Benoni, and G4 is the correct reply. Lufus has gone pawn to C5. And I think, now, do I want to take that? And then what would he take it back with is a good question. Let me see how to do this. Okay, I think I'm going to take on C5 against Lufus. And chess 24 has gone knight bd7. Now, what's happening is bishop is on h5. This is in the Nimzovich. I always have to look. Do I have the e5 push? Does it do anything? I mean, here it's awfully tempting to think that maybe I could push all the way through to e6 in some case. And would that bother his king side? I think I'm going to try pawn to e5 and play this very aggressively because really I'm ready to castle on the queen side anyway in a couple of moves. So that should be okay. All right, Haynes has gone knight to e5, and that's a good move. He's got knight c4 threats and knight g4 threats. So do I have to play some move like h3 there, and will knight c4 bother me otherwise? Let me see. All right, I think now I got to be careful I don't fall into some bad position here because it's very possible if he gets this knight g4 thing that's what's going to happen. So, and then knight to c4. All right, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I mean, I didn't think of knight e5. It's knight e5 looks like a good move, and for something, if I play queen e2, he'll just go knight on e to g4. So I'm going to try h3 and see will he bother me with the knight c4 or what's going on here. Let me try h3. Same-ish variation with Muhit early going there. Same can be said for the Sicilians, and Lufus has replied with D takes c5, which is the right move because if he went knight takes c5, I would have the very strong e5. And now I'm trying to figure out here, can I play something like bishop to f4, or should I just go bishop back to e2? And I have maybe the bishop pair can be useful for me, but I'm trying to figure out the right way to do this. Queen e2, just getting my queen out of the way may not be so bad either. All right, and it's going to be a question later on. Can he do maneuvers? Knight knight e5 to c6, something like that. I think I'm going to play bishop to f4 just to stop knight e5. Okay, Dr. Strange move. And now I really thought that the way he's playing it, I thought that this position was going to be good for white. And now I'm trying to see, should I just go rook e1 or do I do some kind of rook to b1 is interesting. I think I'm going to try rook to b1 to tie him up on the b file and just continue to develop. Then maybe he'll go rook to b8. He might be able to get his tempo back. h3 is of some interest to stop bishop g4. Although bishop g4, if he took on f3, I think I might be happy about that situation. So I don't know. I think I'm going to just go rook to e1. Rook on the open file. How can you go wrong with that? Early going against Tired Dad and a Petrosian. Growmaster, Rui Lopez. I always play Rui Lopez. Pearl Hacker has played knight g7. So we're on move 9 of theory in the Czech Benoni. d5 from J. Russell. I always thought that was the best reply to 9 castles. I haven't hung any pieces yet. Still in the Kalashnikov. Brownie Baker has played c5. That's the right move. And now I remember knight e5 coming from Alexander Ivanov in that position. I remember he was going after the bishop pair with some kind of queen a5 thing. All right. Now, what is happening with Osmondies? He's gone queen to e8. I'm thinking that I should just develop with bishop to d2. I want to wait on e4 because the longer I wait, I mean, his pieces in these Stonewall Duchess, sometimes black's pieces start stepping on each other a little bit, and the knight on d7 is in the way. The bishop on c8 is nowhere near being developed in a good square, so I think I can just go slow here and play bishop to d2. I don't think I'm afraid of any big kingside attacks there. So we're getting through the openings here. T-Knight's playing solid. Let's see, the Kalashnikov, bishop to e7 from AK. Now, how do I develop here? I castle, and then I think I go knight a3 to c2. It would be if my knight is on a c3, and then I went knight a3, so it comes to be the same thing. Okay, Dark Prince has gone bishop to d6, but I don't know. The question for Dark Prince is with his bishop on d6, later he might run into an aggravation with bishop to g5. I'm just going to wait on bishop to g5. Pokemon Dude has played c takes d5, and queen d6. That's the game where I'm trying to win a pawn, and I got to see did I succeed in that, or does he have some tricky stuff going? All right, I'm going to play knight to c3 now, and continue the fact that's in some sort of Slav with his bishop on g4 is loose, and I'm trying to create some tricks against his queen side. Let's see now what to do against Air and Trobo. Sometimes when the bishop on b4 stays too soon for too long, white runs away with g5. But that I don't think that makes sense here. I think I'm just going to go queen to c2 and develop and guard my pawn. And I think white usually gets a slight edge there. e5 from Lufus, which makes a hole on d5, but I don't know that I could take advantage of it. So now I think I'm just going to go back bishop to e3. Queen e7 from Kenneth. That's a tricky line to keep me from playing e4. But I think I go bishop to g5 and e3, and that one turns out to be halfway decent. Okay, now I have to see what's going on here with Pokemon Dude. I think that I'm investigating a nice continuation here. And if it works out well, this could be the first decisive result of the day. So I'm checking the move knight to g4. I think that I like it. Knight takes g4, it is. Knight c4 from Keynes, and I have to go bishop back. Now, do I have to go bishop back to c1? I think I do. And protect all my stuff, and then I have to see, does he have some ideas here? Okay, so in the Rogozin, after I castled and black castled, now he didn't take on c3. So what becomes a good move now? I have to still play it so that if the pawn sack is there, some interesting ideas. I don't know. I seem to remember something about knight to d2 being good. Well, I mean, it threatens knight to b3, and also it stops knight e4 ideas, which sometimes come up here, and if it comes up, it'll be like that Cambridge Springs, which is really a bad variation of the Queen's Gambit. But the only idea of it is that white hangs his bishop on g5 some of the time. So I'm just going to go knight d2 against Valai and see how that one goes. And T-Knight has taken back with a knight on d7. That's good play. So normal games going. King h8 from Osmandius. And am I ready ever to play e4? I think I'm just going to build up. I'm going to go rook to e1 because Dutch is a little uncomfortable. I mean, he has to unravel himself. Okay, and now against Pokemon Dude, I'm going to go knight to b5 and see what happens there. If I'm thinking I might have a decisive result very quickly, which in these simuls, a nice fast result is a very helpful kind of thing. All right, now chess 24. What's going on here? This is where I'm trying to see, can I push through with ace? Will it bother him if I push through? All right, I'm going to exchange on d5 first and then see if I can go to e6. Okay, what's happening with AK? AK is after my bishop on d3. That's in the Kalashnikov. I don't know. Does that bishop matter to me? If I take it, it helps me. What it does is that if he takes my bishop, at least I'll be queen takes d3. I'll get rook to d1 faster. But then on the other hand is that the knight on b4 isn't that greatly placed. So what's the deal here for me? Should I go knight to d2 and just have him get rid of it? I think I'm just going to go knight to c2, let him take my bishop. Well, hold on. Knight c2, he takes my bishop. Does he have any tricks with anything? Interesting. I think I'm going to keep the bishop and go bishop to e2. Okay, so now Aaron Trobo, what's happening? Can I play, if I go pawn takes pawn, can he, and hit c7, what's the situation there? Does that force him to take back with a knight? Or can he take back with a pawn? And then what sort of situation is happening with that? All right, I think I'm going to go pawn takes pawn and see if I can cause some trouble. All right, queen b8 from Pokemon Dude, and I think that's got to be knight c7 check. Was my intention to just get his king walking and to take a rook. a5 from T-Knight, it's a good move. And now I have to see what to do. It's very similar to an Anand game that he won against, I think, Mamedyarov, I think comes to mind. And that was the tournament that Anand qualified. All right, now, some of the boards I'm talking a lot here. I mean, I'm under 40 minutes already from T-Nights, so I guess it's nice to talk. It's nice to talk about the openings and the weather, but I guess I should probably start moving soon. So I think I'm going to try knight to c5 just to see how that one goes. Okay, knight e8 from Muhit. And now Muhit's giving me pawn to b4, hitting his knight for free. I think that's something that I'm going to take. I'm going to go pawn to b4 and send his knight back to d7. Developing in all the games. Haynes is going out on some kind of attack here with h5. And I think I'm just going to go knight to b3. I don't think he has queen takes g3 there yet. So I'm just going to go knight to b3 and see if I could stop this attack. Chess 24. Now, my intention here was to just go e6, which I'm still thinking is the right thing to do. Pawn takes pawn, big deal. He just goes e6 and gets his pawn back, and I can wind up with a worse position there. So I think I'm going to try e6. Took a rook against Pokemon, and now Muhit. The thing with Muhit is, what happens if he goes f5? Am I worried about that? Because if I am, it's possible here that I could go g4. You see stuff like that in the Samish, and that might not be a bad idea. Or if I just castle and let him play f5. I mean, I got free time on the queen's side, so I might be able to just expand over there too. So that's the things I'm wondering about here. But I mean, if I could go g4, I think it's probably the right thing to do. I think I'm going to go g4 and see how that one works. Okay, e5 from Dr. Strange move is a strange move. So let me see, what can I do to him here? I'm looking bishop to g5 with a tempo. Feels like it has to be a good move. And does it chase his queen in the way, and does it allow me to win a pawn? I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out because I'm going to do it. Rook to c8 from Geography Whiz. And let's see here. I think I'm just going to go e3. Black has to be a little careful about these openings. They look kind of innocent, but then sometimes something bad could happen. Okay, Haynes has gone bishop a7, and I'm going to go if I go bishop to f4 and try to provoke something on him, will he play e5? Or does he go d6? Then I'm wondering what is happening with the pawn that I have on b2. I'm looking at, this is a weird one, queen e2. Queen e2, queen takes g3. Queen takes c4, knight g4, and that's like a sudden mate, I think. So I have to be a little careful of that. That's sort of why I wanted to play bishop to f4. But if I have to go bishop to f4, and then, I think I'm just going to go bishop to f4, and if he goes d6, I'm just going to try to protect my pawn. Maybe, I don't know, maybe queen c1 or something like that. It's a question in his position of whether his attack gets going. If he plays h5 and nothing comes of it, then his king might be the one with the problem. Other things I can think about here are just move my king to h1. But bishop to f4 sort of feels right, so I think I'm going to give that a try out. Bishop to f4. Let's see. Aaron Trobo has recaptured with his knight on d5, and now I'm looking at moves like e4, and really, I mean, if I could snatch c7, I would do it, but I don't know if he gets knight b4, queen takes c7, and bishop a6 allows him to come out very fast there, maybe, and that might bother me. So I'm thinking of just playing pawn to a3 to stop knight b4. Maybe I can have some slight advantage there. Okay, Pokemon Dude is developing with knight c6, and I think I can go. I'm looking at queen f5 now, or should I just develop and take it easy? Is queen a5? The only thing that bothers me is if he were to ever get some kind of knight b4 thing. All right, I think I'm just going to go e3 and protect some of my stuff against Pokemon Dude, and he gets to take the rook back. But that's all right. I get to take, I have nice material, and his king is walking around, so that feels pretty good to me. Okay, Geography Wiz has gone pawn to c5, and now it's always good to look. I always look to see if knight b5 does anything. Let me see. Does knight b5 do anything? I'm gonna throw it out there and see what happens. Okay, Pokemon Dude's gone queen takes a8. Now I think I should just go queen f5 and pick up that knight with a pretty relaxing position. Dark Prince has gone queen c7, allowing me to mess up his king side. Also, rook to c1, gaining his time on the queen, doesn't look bad either. So I'm just going to go for rook to c1 and gain time on his queen. Rook g8 from Osmandius. So is Osmandius really getting ready to play g5? Wow, I don't know. If he's getting ready to play g5, maybe I'll let him. Also, I'm sort of interested in this position because I think I'm just going to go. I think I'm set up to do something here. I think I'm just going to go pawn takes pawn on d5, and I think I like my position there. Okay, now what's happening with Haynes? This is the position where he's attacking my b2 pawn, and it's probably a threat to take it too. Why not? He could just take it and run back. So if I play something like rook b1 and he takes it, I take with the rook, he takes queen c3, and then maybe he goes e5. Although, I mean, that could backfire on him if with the backward pawn and stuff. So I think I'm just going to try rook to b1 and see how that one works. I'm just checking to see. But if his queen is on c3, does he have anything where it just runs over towards, he might take g3 also. That's the sort of tactic that I have to be careful of, is that queen takes c3, he makes my bishop move, and then queen takes g3. That's pretty interesting. Then I have to be careful. But it's still a sharp position, so I have to see what to do. I think that maybe I have to just calm down here and go queen to c1 and see how that goes. Okay, so Pokemon Dude, I guess I'll take the knight and be up a knight. Bishop h4 in the Benoni. I mean, it seems like the games are going in some kind of slow motion here. Okay, Muhit has gone knight to b6, which I think is a good move because he's threatening some knight c4 stuff, and I'll just go bishop to d3. I need my dark squared bishop. Airtran has gone bishop a6, which I'll just simply reply rook e1. I don't know if his bishop or anything weird's going to happen over there with his bishop. And what's happening here? Pokemon Dude, I've taken some stuff. I'm happy. I'm just going to go home with my queen. and play safe. Make sure nothing weird happens in this kind of game. Lufus is attacking my B2 pawn, and what's the best way for me to defend it? I'm looking at stuff like, well, I mean, rook to B1 is the most obvious thing to do, I guess. So I'll just go rook to B1. You never know if I get some pawn to B4 thing going. Okay, so far, I mean, I think I like my games here. I don't feel like I've done anything bad to where I'm going to lose quickly, which is in a Simul is really a serious thing. I mean, it's embarrassing things happen sometimes. I think I've lost some Simul games in like 20 moves or something like that. Usually getting mated in the King's Indian, I think, has been my usual situation. Okay, now, so chess 24, I got my E6 thing in. Now, I just want to look here to see, do I want to be greedy? No, I think that was my intention, was to go queen takes E6, but I don't know if I did it because the board changed over. And I hate when that happens because sometimes I do a mouse slip, and the mouse slip causes me to lose, and that's a little bit aggravating when that happens. Okay, Dark Prince. Now, I think I'm taking the pawn on E6. Okay, bishop takes C3 from Valai, and let's see, that was after I played knight to D2, and he played bishop takes C3, and now I have option of in-between move, but I think I just take it back here, and that seems to be the right thing to do. Okay, queen to D7 from Dr. Strange move, and now, I guess I was just going to go pawn takes E5. Is that winning a pawn? It's not a beautiful pawn. I mean, but he might get it. But does he get it back with some kind of bishop G4 thing? That's what I'm wondering. Is it better for me to keep the pressure up with a move like pawn to D5 or not? Or even could knight takes E5 be the way to do it so that afterwards there's no pin on G4? That's a situation. Maybe that's the right way to do it, is to go knight takes E5. But if I exchange twice, and then he has like a queen F5 move, not so easy. I think that pawn takes E5 seems like the right move. I'm going to do it, and if it doesn't work out, well, that's the way chess is. You know what I mean? It happens. So. Lufus has gone rook FD8, and I think I just get out of the way with queen E2, safety first. Knight BD7 from Kenneth. I think from Kenneth I'm just going to cancel kingside. That's the Benoni. Knight C7 from Pearl Hacker, and I don't know. I mean, one of the games I followed in this was a brilliant game where Yasser Serouan beat Igor Ivanov, and Pearl Hacker is now. If I cancel queenside. Is he in really good shape to just play for B5? Well, I think I'm going to castle queenside anyway. I mean, that's what the deal is in the position. Okay, so now what to do against Haynes? Seems like if I could go knight to D2 and get rid of his knight, I would be happy. Is that true? I'm looking at knight to D2. I don't know, rook to D1, but then the F2 pawn is a little loose. I think I should go knight. I think I'm going to try knight to D2 and see how that one looks. Hope, see if he takes it. Okay, Asmodeus, I'm going to go knight C7 and get that dark squared bishop. And getting the dark squared bishop in the getting his better bishop in the Stonewall Dutch, that's just got to be positionally almost winning for me. Okay, knight takes D5 from Dark Prince. His kingside got shattered. And Airtran, let's see, what is the way for me to try and do something to him here? If I don't do this the right way, Airtran would be just about equal, I think. So the question is, I push E4. Does it accomplish anything? Well, I mean, it's the right thing to do, and then I'll see. Maybe on the next move I go D5 or something like that. Rook E8 from J. Russell, and then I think I play knight to E4 seems right. And Grillmaster, did Grillmaster lose a pawn? Can I just go bishop takes C6 and knight takes E5? You know, I mean, I tell that to my students all the time in those positions. I tell them, be really careful, you know, about that stuff because it's a pawn, you know, it's a Ruy Lopez, and usually there's some tricks. Like if a bishop's on C5, there would be some tricks, but not with this. Okay, now let me see what to do here against Brownie Baker. Queen A4 check. I remember some bishop to E3 could be interesting there. Alexander Ivanov in that game I keep talking about played Queen A4 check. So I think I'm going to do Queen A4 check. I think it's the right thing to do. Geography Whiz has gone bishop to A6. And now I think I'm just going to play. I can't, knight takes A7 I can't do, so I'm going to go queen to A4. Castle's queenside, A6 from Pearl Hacker. And now, I don't know, against Pearl Hacker, I think I'm just going to see if I can get the kingside stuff going here. What is a good way for me to get H4 in? Let me go rook on D to G1 and just try straightforward stuff. Okay, T knight to B6, attacking my queen, and where should I put it? Queen to D3, queen to C3 looks okay. No, that hangs E2, so I must go queen to D3. Bishop E6 from J. Russell, and bishop to C4. That's in the dragon. I was talking about the game with Osmandius. I got his dark squared bishop in a stone wall, leaving him with that thing on C8. He can't be happy about that situation. Queen G4 from Dr. Strange move. Attacking my bishop and trying to get the pawn back. Interesting move. Didn't really think about that. And he's attacking my bishop. So I think that's a pretty nice move on his part. Is he just gonna get his pawn back? All right. Well, I don't know. I might have. All right. I'm gonna try just bishop to E2 and see what the heck is going on there. Okay. Air Trambo. I'm gonna go D5 in advance and see. Brownie Baker's gone bishop to D7, but this is the thing that we like from this position is just to get this bishop pair. So I'm happy to go knight takes D7. Muhit has gone knight to C7. I don't know if he's ever going to get F5 in, but perhaps he can get some solid play from the other side. Okay, now Dark Prince. His king is wide open. This was in the Queen's Gambit accepted, which is usually a solid opening, but something went terribly wrong for him, and then the opening wasn't that solid anymore. I'm looking at all kinds of things. The one that I like the most, though, just comes to sticking my queen down on H6. Looks like the most direct thing to do. Okay. The position with AK 1966, I like it, these Kalashnikovs, because I don't really know what the plan is for black. Usually black is pretty bottled up in those kinds of games. I mean, I'm thinking about stuff like queen to D2. Maybe I'm wondering if I should go F3 and protect my E pawn so that I'm free to maybe move my C knight for some trick. Okay, I'm just going to play F3 there. Traded queens against Brownie Baker. Pokemon Dude is just down a lot of material. Queen C7. J. Russell, we're in a normal kind of dragon. And just regular position there. Okay, some of these games I'm moving real slow motion, so I might have to get a move on. Rook A5 from Muhit. Okay, now, Osmandius, it's just like I really like my position in this game. I mean, I'm not up material, but it's just the dark squared bishop went, and now I have to see what. Now, if he goes g5, he has to be really careful. I'm thinking of transferring my bishop from d2 to a nicer diagonal. I think I have time to do it, and it looks like a decent thing to do. Okay, now Valai, back to the Rogozin. I've taken on c3, and now he's gone knight to e4. And let's see what is the deal with the knight to e4? He's hitting c3. I guess I should just exchange. I really don't see anything that bad happening to me. I have to make sure that he doesn't get that trick with the old Cambridge Springs trick is still alive in that position because my bishop on g5 is hanging and his queen is over there. Okay, now let's see. So Brownie Baker is coming in now. Maybe I could come out really fast against him and get some kind of castling with check for nice development. I think I'm going to try to do that. Should I try it with bishop to g5 or do I go pawn? I think I go pawn takes c5 first and then try and get some time with checks and stuff. Okay, bishop h5 from Dark Prince. Bishop to f5, yes. And the idea of his is to patch up his king side. That seems decent. And let's see if he patches up the side. But can I create tricks of another kind? I was looking at knight to h4, trying to make tricks on another diagonal maybe. And still queen h6 stuff looks like it's right. So I'm gonna go knight to h4 and see if I can get more pieces near his king. Okay, knight b8 from Geography Whiz. Now I have to be a little careful here what I've done. Is he ever threatening? Now what's he threatening to do here? I'm thinking I should go bishop h3, and then I'm wondering on bishop h3 I have to make sure he doesn't have any queen e7s. So does that mean I should just move my rook to d1 to get out of the way of some pins? Is an excellent question. I'm a little bit under the weather, as you people can say. I don't know whether it's allergies or what the heck it is, but whatever it is, it's a little bit aggravating with the you can tell my voice is a little bit a bit bronky, and now for some reason now I have a bloody nose. So that's just something new. So if I keel over, it's been nice knowing everybody, but I'm hoping that I don't. So maybe having a bloody nose is a good thing. Maybe it's a nice thing for the Simul. Now I don't know how much blood is coming out of my nose. I'm going to run into the bathroom. Sorry about this. Okay, sorry about that. I think I'm still alive. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so the game we're at is Geography Whiz, and I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that his bishop is on a6, but I'm also looking to make sure that I don't get all pinned up with something like queen to e8 sometimes could be a good move for him. So suppose if I played bishop h3 and then he goes queen e8, see, that's the kind of position that I was worried about. Let's see, I don't think I can go pawn takes pawn. So I think I'm going to go rook f to c1 and get out of the way of that pin and see how that one goes. All right, now what's happening here with Valai? Something, I don't know if I'm ever up to something with bishop to e7. If I move my bishop back, he gets queen. Does he get queen takes c3 stuff going? It's an interesting move. He keeps that Cambridge Springs deal going, and that looks like it's a decent enough thing to do for him to give him counterplay. So I think I'm going to try bishop to f4. Okay, Brownie Baker, my intention in this game was to try and come out very fast with a castle. So I think I'm going to go bishop e2, and instead of trying to get castle queenside, I'm just going to play a little bit slower. Okay, h6 from J. Russell, that seems right. I go g4. Now, T knight has a really strong knight on d4 there. So I don't really understand what I should do here about this knight. And he's threatening bishop to e2 as well. This opening, I think he's played the opening very well, and now I'm thinking along the lines of maybe I have to try to be very safe. So I'm more or less going to try to force a draw with bishop takes d5. Okay, e5 from Haynes, and now I'm going to go bishop to. I think I was going to just go bishop to g5 there. And now, let's see how that goes. So bishop to g5. Pearl Hacker is going to start getting his counterplay in here. And now, do I want to go h4 against Pearl Hacker and get going with my queenside stuff? Okay, so against T Knight, I think. I'm just admitting that I screwed up this opening, and then I have to sort of just try for a draw. And I think I'm going to go rook to maybe pawn to d4 is the right thing, and I think it's just dead equal there. I think what can you do when you get into a situation where something bad has happened? Forcing a draw is probably the right thing to do. Up a rook against Pokemon. Knight takes g4 sacrifice from Haynes. Wow, I didn't expect that. And now I don't know. I have ideas here against him, and does this sacrifice really work? First things first, I can throw knight to d5 in, and if I throw knight to d5 in, what happens? Where does his queen go? I think I'm going to throw knight to d5 in. It's check, so he doesn't have time to do anything. Bishop f7 from chess 24. And now, where should my queen go? Queen e2, queen e3. I think I'm going to try to put it on e3 so I can get my bishop out fast. And then I'll see, do I want to castle kingside or queenside? b5 from Kenneth. And okay, and now AK, that's the Kalashnikov. I feel pretty solid there, but what's my development? I guess something like queen to d2, maybe keeping an eye on that knight on b4 looks like a decent plan. It's his move, so sorry about that. h6. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent move. Stopping, you never know when bishop g5 was going to happen. So I'm going to stick to queen d2 and try to pile up. Kenneth, we're in a Benoni, and let's see. Is he trying to do b5 to me yet? No, I think I'm just going to go a5 there. Brownie Baker, how to come out here? Bishop to f3 for me. Is that possible, or does that help him? I just want to make sure I get, I mean, I have the bishop pair. The bishop pair and a 3-2 majority seems like a good thing to have. So the question is, all right, I think, but if I go bishop f3, does he get an e4, e5 in later on is the question. All right, I'm going to go bishop to f3. And now Dark Prince has gone bishop to g4. Well, I wanted to get my queen to h6, so I think that I'm going to put my queen on h6 and threaten some decisive shots. See what happens there. Queen g6 from Osmondius. And now what's happening here? I think I feel like I've got this game under control, just because of how his pieces look over on the queen's side. So I think now at this point maybe I switch and go rook back to c1. Hold it. No, is he threatening? Is knight e8 any kind of threat? I like my dark squared bishop, so I think I'm just going to go bishop back to g3 and keep everybody. Why not? And now Valai didn't take the pawn, probably because I had some rook c1 stuff. And now what's going on here? Can I try to play c4 and d5 and stuff like that, and maybe make a pass pawn? Muhit's playing solidly. That's the same-ish. But it is better for me. I have a target on the queen's side. And now is he threatening bishop takes d3 and then to take? So I got to go rook to b1 and protect everybody. And then bishop to e3 against t-knight. T-knight, sorry I had to play so solidly, but I sort of all of a sudden didn't like my position so much. Okay, now against Haynes, what is the best way for me to do this? I'm thinking about pawn takes simply on, and now does he trap my bishop at all is what I'm wondering if I take. Is his idea, does something happen to my bishop? He goes bishop takes g3. Okay, I think that I'm going to play, let's see, if I go knight takes c4, queen takes c4, takes on g4, bishop takes g4. What's the deal with this queen being over there? Hard decision here. Okay, I think probably, and also another thing is on knight takes c4, can he throw rook to knight takes f2 in? Or I'm going to go knight takes c4. It feels, I'm not exactly sure why. I feel like I talked myself into that one somehow, but not really sure why or how, what that was about. Okay, Airtran, has he given me a chance here for some strange things? I'm looking at d6, queen takes d6, e5. That looks decent. I mean, and the knight takes e5, I take back with the rook and keep all my stuff protected. That looks like a decent thing to do. Okay, Pro Hacker's gone b5. Now, certainly, I'm not taking this pawn. I could tell you that right now. So, what is my plan here then? If I don't take that pawn, I'm still trying to break on the king's side, and he's not making it easy on me. I mean, that's for sure. So I think I'm going to try. Let's see. If I go h5, I'm afraid that he can go g5 and lock it. So I think I'm going to try queen to e3 and see how that one works. Okay, queen takes c4 from Haynes, and I'm going to just take on g4 and see if I'm up a piece. Okay, now Pokemon Dude is down a rook, and Dark Prince has defended e5, and then it switched boards. So I got to see what's the story here. And I'm on the Brownie Baker game. So Simul's been going for a little over an hour. No decisive results. A lot of very competitive games, tough games. I might have a winning position in maybe 2 or 3 in the early going, but the other ones, the issue is definitely in doubt. So it's waiting on Brownie Baker. And how's the U.S. Championship going today? I don't know. I haven't really seen anything, so I don't know what the situation is. And it could be. I mean, it was pretty clear from the beginning that there were 2 favorites in that tournament, and and everybody is, of course, Nakamura is one of them, and the other one we have to say is, I mean, Wesley So's been playing great. So I think those are the clear 2 favorites. And then I wasn't sure after that. No, don't worry about me. I got a bloody nose, but I'll live. Thank you, Dark Prince. I'll live. It's adding a little excitement to the Simul to have the possibility of your opponent bleeding to death. Okay, so now let me see what to do here against Dark Prince. I was thinking about playing now knight to e3. I'm still trying to concoct mates all over the place here. So I think I'm going to go knight e3, or is there any point to me going h3 first and sending his bishop back? I don't think so. So I think I'll just go knight to e3. Rook d8 from Jay Russell, and I'm gonna go queen to where? I think queen to f2 seems like the right place to go. And Muhit. Now, I have to say, in the game with Muhit, I feel a little bit ridiculous now that my pawn is on g4. I'm wondering why my pawn is on g4 now. Because I didn't get any attack, and he never played f5. So I'm just going to go knight e2, and then it becomes playing on the queen side. Is what's happening. And h5 from Osmandi. Well, okay. So I don't know. I mean, as a big fan of Petrosian, I would think that Petrosian would really like my position here, because I think that I'm just positionally very nice with his pieces not coming out, and it doesn't look bad to me. All right, now let's see. Valai, I guess I just want to protect my pawn, so I guess I go queen to b3. And e5 from Airtran. Did I just win a piece there? I don't know. I hope so. And now against Haynes, I'm thinking about knight to e3. Does that force pieces off in a good situation for me? Although, one thing is I didn't think about is my bishop could be trapped. Now, AK moved his knight back. Then I'm going to go, I'm just going to go rook to c1 and see if I can make some threats with his queen on c7. Okay, now, what's happening here with Haynes? I feel like I'm one move away from having something good here, but it's a little messy. It's a kind of a messy position. And do I want to? I don't know if I want to go b3 to make his queen go backwards, or I don't know, king to h2 to take the steam out of h3 looks pretty decent. I mean, I'm happy his queen is on the queen side because it's not bothering me. I mean, I'm checking to make sure that it can't run over to the king side quickly. So I feel like I should go king to h2 and just put an end to his pawn advancing. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Draw.
Okay, T-Knight has gone bishop to f3, and I'm just going to see now if I could trade off all the rooks. Lufus is going a6. I feel like I'm slightly better here, but I'm not sure what to do. Okay, maybe the move I played is not bad. We'll see. I did g4, trying to drive him backwards. h6 from chess 24. And now, I have chess 24 sort of bottled up here, but I don't know. If he develops with e6, maybe his center is going to be stronger later. So I think I'm just going to go bishop to d3 and get myself castled, and it looks pretty safe for me. I mean, it could turn out to be okay for him too. All right, now we have Dark Prince has played a good move. He's opened up his bishop, so I have to be a little careful. I think I'll just go knight takes f5. Knight f4 from J. Russell. And attacking my bishop on c4. And I think that I should take on e6. Okay, h3 from Haynes. And I guess I just go bishop to h1. That's what I intended. And Osmanias has continued with his pawns push on the king side. And now I think I'm going to just go bishop to e5. And if he takes it, I have a nice pin going, and that feels pretty nice for me. And let's see, t-knight, can I trade? I'm really trying to trade all the rooks here. And, I mean, it's still, he's better, but can he do anything is the question. Okay, Dr. Strange move. Knight takes e5, so if I play knight takes e5, he goes queen takes g5. So I'm going to put in bishop to e7, in between move, and see if I can bother him with that. Okay, pawn takes pawn from Pearl Hacker. And now, bishop takes, or do I decline? If I decline, is he bothering me? I feel like I have to go bishop takes, and then just play that position and see how does that look for me. We shall see what happens there. Okay, h5 in the dragon. Lufus has gone. h6. Now, can I go h4 is what I'm wondering. I'm just trying to get control of the d5 square in that game. That's in that class. That started off as a classical perk. And Muti has gone knight b5. That's a solid move. And now, what do I do here? Can I try to... Well, the first thing is, I think I'm going to make my king a little safer by putting it on g2. Rook to c8 from Valai, and now I'm just going to go a4. See if maybe his queen could get into trouble there at some point. And a4 from t-knight, and now I'm going to trade off all the rooks and maybe try to make a draw there. And Dr. Strange move is playing some good stuff here, because I could be up a piece, but I have might be having a weird pile up on the e file, which might not be doing me any good. I think every time I play Dr. Strange move, we get involved in some kind of crazy stuff. Okay, now let's see. Osmandius has gone king h7. I think I'm just going to go queen to d6. I'm trying to get rook e7 in or something like that.
Draw?
Oh, I'm sorry. T-Knight has offered me a draw, and I didn't see it, so I'm going to offer him a draw back.
Draw?
No, I didn't want to. Sorry, I didn't want to offer Air Trambo a draw, because that game I think I'm just winning. But that's the way it goes, huh? Bishop takes. It does this thing where it switches the board so fast, and you know, and I offer a draw, and then it goes to another board, and then I wind up offering a draw on the wrong board, and that doesn't please me at all. Okay, Dark Prince is defending well. I mean, I got to admit, I thought something bad was going to happen to him, but he's hanging in there, and now I have to try to figure out another way to mate him. And the other way for me to figure out is I think I'm going to try bishop to c2 and try and mate him on, switch mating him from g7 to h7. Okay, now what's happening here with Brownie Baker? Pawn to b5. I'm thinking maybe I should just go a3, or I might be able to go b4 and a4 might not be bad. That's pretty interesting. Going bishop to f4, developing, I don't know if that makes any sense. a4 to get my queen side rolling. Interesting move. Should I go b4? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Or should I just develop here and then try to do that? I think I'm just going to go bishop to f4 first and then try to... It makes sense to develop. Okay, Haynes has gone bishop to e2. So that means that he's after my my rook on f1, trying to get the pawn on f2. And let me see, can I just make his queen move? Okay, AK has gone rook to c8. Now, I think I played knight d5. He can't trade knights because of c takes. So what does that mean? I think that I won his dark squared bishop so I could blast away on his backward pawn. Okay, so the game with Haynes, we're back. I think I'm going to go b3 and send his queen backwards, I hope. Okay, g5. J. Russell, this locking business that occurs, I think I'm happy about that because at least now his bishop on g7 is dead. Pro Hacker played bishop to b5. That looks like a good move. I'm just going to go bishop back to b3. It's a question of whose stuff is going faster in that game. And now Valai, I'm tempted to cook up some nice stuff here against Valai, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it. I mean, his queen is just in such a bad spot. I mean, I'm looking at pawn to c5 is the first thing that I'm thinking about. But then, I don't know, bishop to d5 looks like a pretty good reply for him. So that means, how about I try queen to b5? What is that about? Is that possible? All right, let me try queen to b5, offer him a queen trade, trying to see if I can make myself some passed pawns.
Draw.
Okay, Haynes' queen has gone all the way back, and now if I go rook to e1, is queen to g4 bothering me? That's a good question. Okay, I'm gonna go rook to e1 and just attack his bishop. And let's see. And now, all right. So I won the piece in the Air Tran game. I think I accidentally offered a draw there, but I mean I did win a piece, so I'm glad. Well, you know, if it became a draw, that's okay too. Okay, chess 24 has advanced with g5. I'm getting into some time pressure here. This bloody nose didn't help anything, but I feel like I'm still alive and trying to play chess. Queen b7, solid move from Muhi. Now, if I'm going to do something to Muhi, it feels like it would have to involve trading some pieces at some point and maybe just trying to be slightly better. Okay, queen c6 from Lufus. I think I'm just going to go for this thing where I just try to get a knight to d5 for what it's worth. Okay, time pressure in a lot of games. Okay, bishop a6 from Valai. Interesting move, but I mean, he gives me a passed pawn, but he has the pin on my bishop. So if I go queen takes, does he get to bother me with something? All right, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to trade the queens there and see if I could do something with that business. Okay, now, so he's attacking my c4 pawn. That's the game with Valai, so I have to defend it with rook to c1, rook a c1. Okay, I finally got my knight into d5 against Lufus. That was a lot of work. And now, king h8 from Dark Prince. So, where's the tricky, where is my tricky business here? He's finding some nice moves here. So, but hold it, knight to e7. What happens with knight to e7? Looks good. Threatening queen takes h7 mate. All right, and then I think he has to go f5, and then I think I have knight g6. All right, now Air Trambo, what's happening? I'm just going to go queen to c1 and back up. I'm up a piece. Knight d5, good move from Valai. And now I guess I'll just go bishop back to d2 and hit his a-pawn. And now, okay, chess 24, is he ever threatening to get e5 in? I'm going to go bishop f5 and try and stop stuff. Queen to g4 from Keynes, and now I'm going to go rook to g1 and get his queen out of there. Okay, Kenneth, we have knight to e8, so I guess he's trying to prepare some f5 stuff at some point. I'm getting out of the way with king to h1. Rook trades from Jay Russell. I feel like Jay Russell is making this too easy for me. And now, finally, in my game with Pro Hacker, am I getting h5 in? Does it do anything? All right, that was a lot of work to get h5 in. I don't even know if it does anything. King g2. All right, so Jay Russell has gone bishop f8. Do I have any tricks? Knight f6s don't do anything. So I'm just going to put my queen now. Where's it better, on e3 or c4? I think I'm going to just put my queen on c4 and just play this very slowly with a good knight versus a bad bishop situation. Okay, knight g6 check from Dark Prince. I think I feel like I got that one under control. And now let's see what's happening here with Valai. I have two connected pass pawns. I'm threatening to take on b4, and then he'll have a protected pass pawn. Okay, I'm going to try this. I want to see if I can get my pawns going. Okay, so Air Trobo has gone bishop g6, and I'm just going to go knight e5, threatening forks all over the place. King f1 looks good against Valai, defending my bishop. Knight to b6, so Lufus is trying to get rid of my annoying knight on d5. That makes absolute sense. And my idea was to try and murder him on the file. I'm going to try it. Rook h1. I'm just going to try to double on the file and see what happens. Okay, Dark Prince has gone. All right, now, what's the best way to do this against Dark Prince? Bishop to b3 check looks pretty nice. And so that looks pretty good. And then in the Stonewall, it looks like I'm happy to go rook to c7 and create some pin situations. Queen, okay, Jay Russell has gone queen to b6. And now I'm looking here to see, can I bother? If I have this move, it would be pretty strong, but I'm not really sure that I have it. Okay, I'm going to go rook. But then but then if he does that, I think I'm just going to go king to c2 against Jay Russell and take it easy. Okay, Haynes' queen has gone all the way back. I feel good about that. And now I'm just going to go bishop to e3, and I feel like I'm up a piece for nothing. But, that one wasn't all that easy. Queen d6 from Lufus, and now is he attempting to bother my g pawn is what I'm wondering. So I'm thinking of doing something like rook to h4. And seeing if I could get all, some back rank stuff and just stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to go rook to h4. King g7 from Jay Russell. I don't know about that, because now does rook d7 win? That's what I was trying to set up there. I was trying to set up rook to d7. Okay, Valai has gone bishop back, and now I think I want to keep him from going a5, and I'm just going to go a5 myself. And now, what's the win against Dark Prince? It's got to start off with bishop takes f7, I think. Okay, Air Trambo, knight c4, up a piece in that game. Peace trade against Lufus. Tough game against Osmandius, although I think I want to win a pawn. Rook takes b7. Looks like a nice pawn to win. I still don't see that he's got any attack bothering me. Okay, queen takes h7. That one. Grillmaster is going very slowly. I'm up a pawn in that game, but I mean, the moves have come in so slow. And Strange Move also. Strange Move is the one that's really kind of a weird game. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Bishop to bishop to c4. Bishop takes e5. Huh. Wow, and this game has got a lot of things are hanging all over the place too. So what is a good way for me to get all my stuff out of the way? Okay, I have an idea. If I go knight to, let's say I go knight to d3 and attack his queen, where does his queen go? Maybe that's the right way to do this. Okay, now against Valai, he's got his pass pawn, and I don't know if that pass pawn should worry me all that much. So I'm just going to go. Do I want to go rook to b1, and then is he trying some bishop a4 thing? Should I just go, if I go d5 and he goes bishop a4, I go rook e4. I think I'm going to go rook to b1, and then if he goes, now I don't want my rook chased off of my d pawn. That's the only thing. Okay, I'm going to go rook to b1 and give some attention to that pawn. Okay, now what's happening here with Lufus? He's threatening to take my g pawn, but I have the g file. So what does the deal with that mean? I saw he offered a draw, but I'm not sure in what position. So I'm going to go queen to d2 and protect my pawn. Bishop c5 from Haynes, and now I mean, let's see. I got the g pawns hanging, but that seems a little bit greedy. Maybe I just go. I could take on c5 and then offer him a trade of queens. Doesn't seem bad. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take on c5 and then go queen e3. I think that looks good. Okay, Osmandia has gone rook to c8. He's taken the file, and I think, can I just take the file back? Just go rook to c1 and be solid about that. To d8. I mean, there's no game where I'm really in any trouble, I think. Okay, Dark Prince has gone bishop to g7, and now what is my best way to do this? Knight to h4 looks right. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, so I feel like if I just attack his f-pawn or something, that should be pretty nice. So, should I just go knight to f4? Yep, knight to f4 looks good. Haynes, should I take back with the knight or the pawn? I think I'll take back with the knight and keep my structure intact. It's a pretty solid game. Okay, Muhit has gone rook c7. And I think I'm going to just go h4. I mean, this is a pretty solid game for both sides. And now king g7 from Lufus, and I'm going to double rooks on the h file. Kenneth has gone knight c7. And now, what's the right moment for me to go f4, I'm wondering. It must be now in this Benoni. Okay, g6 from Haynes. And let me just go c4. Maybe I can mess around with his bishop a little bit. And now what's happening with Lufus? He's gone rook h8. So now here's the question. What am I trying to do here? I think I'm just going to go pawn to, let's see. I have to be a little bit careful, I suppose, of him just trying to take my d pawn. So suppose I go bishop to e4. Okay, b3. Now Valai's got his passed pawn there. And now, what do I do about this? Can I try and surround it somehow? If I go d5, no, he might go rook to c5. That's a good question. I can't go c5 because then he plays rook takes c5. So what is the deal here? I don't think I need to blockade it with rook to b2. Perhaps my king can try to come closer. Okay, let me try to do king to e1 and get my if I can get my king up to c3, I think I would be just about winning. All right, now now I've been so busy defending against Keynes that I haven't really counted pawns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 2 pawns, and then I can get rid of one of them with rook g3 at any moment. This should be a pretty easy win for me, I think. So what is the right way for me to do this? Rook to d1. All right, let me go rook to e1 and chase his bishop back. Queen to g5 from Dark Prince. That looks like a good move. And now I have to see what is the deal here. Do I have some kind of fancy way to get out of this thing, or do I just trade queens on h5? Let me trade queens on h5 and just be up the exchange. Knight c4 from, okay, Kenneth has gone knight g6. Now I'm investigating stuff like, I don't know, knight c4 or maybe even f5 for me. I think I'm going to try f5, just locking it. You know, if I could get him to play f6 and his bishop doesn't look so hot, that could be pretty nice. Okay, now I'm just going to try to take my pawn against Haynes and then try and just consolidate the position. Okay, now chess 24. What's the deal here? Is he trying to do anything to me? E5 stuff? I don't think so. So, but this has turned out decently for him, I think. Not so bad. So let me just go bishop to e6 and stop any kind of thing he has going on there. All right, Muhit is just playing. Muhit's game is just probably a really solid game. Let's see. Now, is he ever trying to bother me with anything? I think I'm just gonna play solidly with rook to c1. I'm not really sure what's going on there. That looks like it's just pretty good for him. You know, just probably pretty drawish actually. Okay, now against Haynes, can I take a pawn back? Take my pawn on h3, just unravel everything. Queen h6 from Dr. Strange move, and then, all right, so now I'm just going to go bishop to, where should I go? Bishop to f1. I think bishop to f1, try and keep all my stuff. Now, I mean, he is getting bishop takes c3, so we got to see what kind of mess occurs after that. I guess I'll just go rook takes d1 against Trambo. I could have taken his queen, but didn't seem worth it. Okay, now what's happening against Haynes? I can't go bishop h3 just yet, so I'm wondering about getting my king out of there to try and go bishop f3, but I don't know. Then he might have some peculiar things with f5. My knight's holding c4. That's a good thing. Maybe I should just go bishop to g2 and come out slowly. Bishop f1 could be useful in some cases as well. Bishop takes c3 from Dr. Strange move. And now, do I have bishop to g5? Does bishop to g5 clear up the situation? Okay, rook A E8 from Lufus. And now what is going on here? I'm wondering about F4 for me. That's that's some sort of mess there. Pawn takes, and I take with the bishop. Then I get bishop E5 ideas. Why not? Give it a try. Okay, rook B8 from Valai. And now, can I get my passed pawns going? If I start going D5 and C5 and C6, should that get his attention a little bit? And I want to make sure, is he ever able to get my A pawn, which would give him two passed pawns? My guys are going fast, though. All right, I think I'm just going to go D5 and see if I can get on with this. Okay, bishop E6, knight F6 from chess 24. And I guess I'll just go, is he going to go knight to E4 on me or something? I think this position really turned into a whole lot of nothing. I mean, it's probably pretty equal. I think I'm just going to go C3. And let's see, finally against Haynes, can I just go bishop to E2 and start to get rid of stuff? Leave myself up a piece. F5 from Lufus. I don't know if I thought of that, but okay, let's see what to do here. So if I just move my bishop back, and what's happening now? Finally, Asmodeus has made a break with G4, and can I try to keep it locked? Queen F4 check doesn't look bad for me. And then some knight C5 thing, maybe. Although I have to be careful, he might have some knight H5 thing. So now, if I go F4, okay, I'm going to try to keep it locked with F4. Okay, G takes H5 from Pro Hacker. Wow. I don't know, man. I mean, what had opening up the G file? That looks like asking for trouble, isn't it? I mean, there must have been a move that was a little more solid, I would think. All right, so now what's happening with Eric Trambo? I'm up a piece in that one, so that seems to be all right. All right, so I'm just going to take it easy there. Okay, now when Haynes starts to move his pawns up with F5, is that going to bother me at all? That's what I'm wondering. So I think I'm just going to go rook to D2. And then when he pushes the pawns, maybe I just go F3 and, just sit on it. Okay, Muhit with bishop to F6 trying to provoke something. Should I go H5? All right, I'm going to go H5. I'm not sure. His position is okay. G3, H3 from Osmanius, and I shall lock again with G3. Very happy to keep things locked. And let's see what to do here now. So Valai seems to be toying with the idea of going after my A pawn. I thought something like that might happen. Okay, so I'm going to go rook to B2. I want to see if I can bring my king up. All right, let's see what's happening with Haynes. Okay, rook H4 now. So he only has one pass pawn. I guess I'll now. So is he going to win a pawn here? Because King F3, Rook H5. Okay, so how do I do this where I let him win a pawn and then I'm still in good shape here? Let me go knight to D5. Okay, Muhit. I guess I'll take capture on G6. Knight D4 from Dark Prince. And let's see, so can I just go king to F1? Rook e4. Now I want to see Haynes. Can I go knight c7 and knight b5? Let's see, knight c7, where does he go? And then knight b5. Okay, I'm going to try that. And pro hacker, don't I just take on g7 and then go h6? Or maybe queen h6 is winning also. But pro hacker, I didn't really understand why you took on g5 there. I mean, on h5, I mean, it just does the job for me. I'm like killing myself over here trying to open up, and then you open it up for me. So I think that was the problem there. You know, is that his position? It was a really interesting game before g takes h5 happened. I mean, I felt like my side was better, but you know, look at his side. The problem is where his pieces are. So, you know, that's sort of the question there. Okay, now Muhit. Suppose let's see. I was going to see. Let me play rook to c3, rook to c1. Get rid of some stuff. Okay, king f8 coming for Valai. Now I'm going to bring my king up, and he's bringing his king up, and everybody's bringing their king up. Okay, and now against Air Trambo, I thought knight c6 was just going to be good for me, and we'll see. Okay, both kings are coming up in this game, and now Dark Prince has attacked my h-pawn, and do I just defend it with h3? Looks like it. And Muhit has gone bishop to b6. And I'll just go bishop to d2, and probably that's about an equal position. Okay, rook g4 check from Haynes, and I guess I'll go king f2. Bishop takes g5 from Lufus. Wow, piece sack. Interesting piece sack. Okay, and now I guess I should just take on g5 with a normal capture. Now Air Trambo has attacked my rook on d1, so I have to move it. I think I'm just going to go rook to c1. f4 from Lufus. I see what he's up to. He's going to go knight takes g5, and then he has a lot of pawns coming towards my face. So, and then my job will be to try and stop them. Okay, so now Haynes is checking me a lot. So, how do I want to get out of the way of these checks? Maybe just let's see. So king. Well, let me just go king to e1 then. Rook g8 from Dark Prince, but I don't know if he's really going to win a pawn or what he's trying to do there. I don't think he's going to win a pawn, so I'm gonna go rook to e1. All right, trade off all the rooks against Lufus. Okay, now against Air Trambo. Do I have a way to work on his pawns? Maybe I just take it easy and go h3 and give my king some air and then start to do some stuff. Valai's king's coming up, and I think my king should come up to d4 and beat his king to c5. And Lufus has gone knight takes g5, and now I think I'm going to try bishop to h4, and just to keep his pawns from going. Okay, now, so rook to e2 check, and I guess I'm just going to go king to d1 from Haynes to get out of the way of check. I'm threatening to take a pawn with a fork on the next move. That looks pretty nice. And our Simul's been going for about an hour and 45 minutes. And some, you know, a lot of games going, you know, not going too slow, but still. Now, let's see. I feel like I have winning positions in some of the games. Let me see what to do here now with Air Trambo. What is a good way to try and bother his pawns, and maybe to get some, you know, consolidate the position a little bit. I mean, he has 2 pawns. If I were to get one of them, I think it would be pretty easy. I'm going to go queen c5. Maybe force the queens off the board could be the right thing to do. Okay, Osmandia has gone knight to c5, and now I mean, in this game, obviously, I'm just really happy to trade everybody down. So let me take that knight on e4. Okay, let's see. So now king d5 from Dark Prince, and I'm going to go rook to d1. Trade queens from Geography Whiz. The Geography Whiz, I thought I was doing better there, and I made a slight mistake. He might be okay now. All right, and now queen takes g5, Doctor Strange move, and I take his rook on e8, and I think that's just a winning position for me, isn't it? Okay, and now chess 24. He's going to get this knight e4 stuff he's about to get could prove a little annoying. I wonder if I should just keep my bishop on with bishop to f5 now and just keep some stuff. Okay, now I don't know when Haynes offered me a draw, but I mean I thought I was winning this game a long time ago, so I'm just going to take his pawn on d6. And king g7 for Doctor Strange move, and do I just move my rook somewhere? Am I up a rook, or does he have some trick with does he have a trick with bishop to g4? If he has a trick with bishop to g4, that means that I probably should go queen to c1 and get out of the mess like that. So that there's no nothing hanging. So queen c1, offering a queen trade in a position up rook seems to be the right thing to do. Okay, and now against Osmondius, it's a locked board position. I trade everybody off with queen takes g7. That seems right, and it looks pretty nice, huh? c5 from Tired Dad. Let's see what to do here. C5 is an interesting move. Should I just hold it with rook to b1 or queen to b3? I'm gonna try rook to b1. Trade off everything, and now Lufus has played queen d7, and I thought, let's see. Now I'm looking at moves. I guess I'm looking at bishop takes, bishop to f6 check and take e5. Haynes has done king to f2, and now I think the best way to do this is I should run my e-pawn, my c-pawn. Let's get this past c-pawn going. Kenneth has played knight to e8. I'm getting into some time pressure. Sorry about that with this bloody nose. I don't know what the heck that was about. Now, I'm wondering if I could do queen to b3 or something like that. What is a way for me to increase the pressure here? Let me go queen to c2 against Kenneth. Okay, Geography Whiz. Let's see. Now, what sort of move do I want to play there? He just played. I think, like I said, I think his position is okay now. So I'm just going to go knight to d2 and play it safe. Muhit has gone bishop to a7. And I guess I'm just going to go knight to c3. And Dark Prince is going rook takes g3. And now, let's see, I guess I'll just go rook to the 7th and try and take some stuff. Okay, rook e8 from Air Trambo, and let's see, am I getting greedy here and taking things? Or should I just force the queens off the board? Let me just go queen b4 and force the queens off the board in a position where I'm up stuff. Okay, now, let's see. Lufus has got a dangerous threat. Is queen h3 a dangerous threat, or do I just walk out of it, or is it just perpetual check? Okay, I'm just going to go bishop takes e5, and then he goes queen h3 check. Okay, Valai has gone rook to b4. And now, let's see what's happening here. Can he gang up on my c pawn is what I'm wondering. And when can I go king to c3? Because and allow him to go king to c5 and then maybe try to do something, I don't know, maybe d6 or something like that. some sort of position. Also, I don't think I should take on e4. It doesn't seem right. What about if I well the big thing I have to determine is bishop to b5 do anything for him? I think I'm going to go rook to a1. Okay, queen to h3 from Rufus, and now I go. Let's say I go king takes f4. He wins my queen, so that one is out. King e4, queen f5 check maybe. But it sort of feels like I should go king to e2, and I'm not sure what is going on. Bishop to d2 from Dr. Strange move, and I'll go queen b2 check, unpin myself. Haynes is coming up with his pawn, but my pawn is going to. Let's see. So if I go c6 and he goes rook to c2, and I go rook behind the pawn, and he goes rook takes. I mean, am I stomped? Okay, I'm going to go pawn, but then he has some ideas of rook going behind the pawn. So what is the absolute correct way for me to do this? I have rook check maybe to separate his king from his rook. Okay, rook check looks good. Grillmaster, let's see, solid position. I'm up a pawn. He went queen d8. I should just develop, I guess, and then just try to stay up a pawn. Dark Prince, I guess I'm going to take some pawns here. Rook takes b7. Haynes has played king to f2, and now do I just want to play rook to f6 and cut his king off? And I don't think his rook is going to bother me. All right. Interesting moment in the Valai game. I thought king c. I didn't think bishop b5 was possible. He's going to have to sack the exchange. I go king to c3. Okay, now we got Air Trambo's played a good move, queen a6, but I'm going to go a4 and break them up. Yeah, I think I can break these pawns up, and maybe that's got to be good for me. Okay, and Dr. Strange move, he's all tied up. Rook to d1 looks like a decent move for me. And Geography Wiz is doing okay. Knight a5 is a good move. Unless I have some kind of fancy b4 stuff, but I don't think so. Do I have, well, I don't know. I'm going to, if I have fancy b4 stuff, I have to certainly look at it. So I'm going to look at it, and I might even do it. Okay, so now Dark Prince has gone knight b5, so no pins, but I feel like I'm just sort of, I mean, it's the kind of position I can almost start to give stuff back. All right, let me go rook to f5 and try and take some more pawns. Haynes has gone g5, and doesn't knight f5 fork him?
Draw.
And that should do it. Okay, exchange sack from Valai. And Kenneth, I have a strong knight on e4. All right, so now Valai has taken back on d4 with his bishop. This is interesting because he's getting d5 also, and his passed pawn is still alive. So what's happening? That's a good question. This might have worked out well for him. He got some pawns back, and now I have to see how do I want to do. How can I do this? I was going to go king to b5, but I think that was a good idea on his part, what he did just then. How about I go, can I go rook to c1 and maybe make some trades? I'm going to count on the power of rooks to give me a break, to help me out there. Okay, now, I don't know, let's see what's happening in the Geography Wiz. I took on a6. Okay, rook a2 from rook a3 from Dark Prince, and I think I'm just going to go rook to d2 and just protect everybody. Pawn to b2 from Geography Wiz, and I'm going to take on c8. Grillmaster, I'm just going to keep on developing, I guess. Rook to d1. And now, Osmondius, because the position is so locked, I think my king can walk to the queen's side, take its time. e5 from Chess 24. Chess 24 came out of this in a pretty decent way here. So I have to be a little careful about this. I might be in some trouble. I'm going to try bishop to b5, but the thing is, his passed pawns are just a little annoying. Okay, now, Geography Wiz, let's see what to do here. I was going to go knight to e2 and try and clear up the situation. Does that make sense? That's a tough question there. Let's see. Or I can go, if I just go rook to b1 and make him take on let's see, if I make him take that one, make him take the b rook. That might be the right thing to do. If knight, I was worried that on knight e2 he might have rook c2. What weird move, but pretty strong. But well, I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I can do knight e2, and then rook c2 takes. All right, I'm going to try knight e2. Aha, queen h5 from Lufus. He gets the bishop, but I have a d pawn, so I don't know. I mean, if I go king to f, let's say I go just king to f2, and then he checks me. But is he getting some f3 thing going then? So where do I put my king here? King f1, but then queen check on h2, king up f3. Okay, so let me see here, king to f2. Okay, Grillmaster has gone d5, and I think I should take that. Rook c1 from Valai, Bishop b5, Chess 24. Chess 24 has got, his center. I was worried about his center becoming strong, and it has become strong. So now I think I'm just probably quite a bit worse here. I'm just going to try some rook to e1 and play, but it's not pleasant, that's for sure. Knight c3 from Dark Prince, and I'm just going to go rook c7 check. Try and trade stuff. Bishop to g4 from Dr. Strange move, and so he gets his rook back, but I get his rook. I also have another way to do this. I think I like actually rook to e7 check, and then to take his bishop. Okay, bishop to b5 from Kenneth, and do I want to? Let's see. Do I want to trade those guys, or do I just want to let him do the trading? Suppose I let him do the trading, and I just play something like b3. Okay. Osmondius, both our kings are coming to the queen's side. Chess 24 is starting to put pieces on my face. Okay, so now, did I get too fancy against Dr. Strange move? No, I don't think so. I think I'm up. I mean, at the very least, I'll be up a piece, right? Okay, so let me just go rook takes d2. Although there's rook takes h7 is possible too. I'm just going to go rook takes d2. And try to be nice. Aha, Valai might have made a move that forces me to resign. Valai has gone bishop to c2, trapping my rook. And I think I must resign there. I didn't see that. His exchange sack was very good, and that was a tough game. I felt like I was very close to winning there, though. In certain positions, I felt I was very close to winning. But he defended very well, so I'm going to resign. So that's my first loss. Congratulations to Valai. Rook takes C1 from geography. A1 made a queen. I take back. Dark Prince. I just want to pin him and just exchange stuff. And I think if I get to do that, it's got to be pretty easy. So let me see what to do here. I was thinking about, rook to b2 check has got to be a good move to put his king on the side. And now from Dr. Strange move, can I just, let's see, can I just play some kind of nice move here? If I go queen takes b7, and he goes queen takes d2, and I play queen takes, that's got to win for me. So I'm just going to go queen takes b7. Okay, Grill Master, we're getting into time pressure. Both of us are getting into time pressure here. And now, what seems to be a plan for me here? I think I'm going to go bishop g3 and try and focus some stuff on that square. Tired Dad. I'm going to see if I can play here. Got to be a little careful. How do I reorganize my knights where they do something? I'm going to try knight to d2. Okay, Kenneth has gone. Rook after c8. And is he trying to play c4? Okay, I'm going to go bishop to c4 myself and put an end to any of that stuff. Okay, knight b5 from Muhit. And now, the thing with Muhit is that, all right, I'm just going to trade. I think this probably is just, maybe it's just a draw. I'm going to trade on b5 and just see what's the situation there. Maybe it's just a draw. Now, against Dark Prince, what's the easiest way for me to do this? Check him. I think that rook to b3, trading everybody, looks nice.
Draw.
Trade queens from Aaron Trobo. Queen takes d2 from Dr. Strange move. I just take on a1. Rook c2 from Geography Whiz. I have to go rook d1 and defend myself. Knight f4, good move, of course, from Chess 24. Pieces all over the face. I'm just going to have to try to hang on here. I'm just going to go queen to d1 and try and hold. Muhit's probably threatening queen b6 here, so I'm just going to go bishop to e3. A6 from Chess 24. I'm just going to drop back, bishop f1. I'm going to circle the wagons, or whatever they say. Geography Whiz has played knight c4. I have to take it. Grillmaster has gone c5. I thought I prevented that with bishop to d6, so I'm going to see if I indeed prevented it with bishop d6. Dark Prince, I forced rooks off, and my pass h-pawn looks nice. Osman, let's see now. I'm almost having him in a zugzwang here because his bishop is stuck, but I suppose it's weird. I have to be a little careful here. I guess king to c4 looks right. And now Tired Dad, has Tired Dad given me a pawn? Is knight takes c4 allowed for me? I'm going to do it, so knight takes c4. Bishop trade from Muhit. Pass pawn from Geography Whiz. Okay, 2 connected pass pawns for him. But I have mine also, so that's going to be a little bit messy. His are a little closer. But he's got to do b5 and all that kind of stuff. So how do I do this here? King to f1. Okay, I'm going to go king to f1. All right, now, Chess 24 is expanding on the queen side. I suppose maybe he was worried about c4. I didn't really think that was necessary on his part. I don't know in this position, do I ever want to go g3? Or is my knight, I think I'm just going to develop with bishop to e3 and just see what happens there. Okay, in the Osmi's game, I suppose making an outside pass pawn is the right thing for me to do, so I'm going to make a pass a pawn. Okay, rook to e1 from Kenneth, and now what's happening here? So when his knight moves, I have to get knight f6 in, I think, right? I got to make sure I don't forget because it's got to be check. Okay, Growmaster, when bishop takes c6, I think I take a pawn on d5. Chess 24. Let's see. Do I want to offer trades of queens in this position? I'm wondering. Queen to g4 type stuff. I don't know. I mean, I think he'll probably turn it down with bishop to e6, so I don't really know what that's helped. I'm going to try a4 and see if I can open up the queen side just to bother him a little bit. Okay, and now Dark Prince. Let's see. I suppose I should just move my rook somewhere and then just push my h-pawn. So I'm just going to go rook a4 and see if I can push my h-pawn. And now the race is on with me and Geography Wiz. Okay, I'm going to go e4 and see if I can get them going. Okay, so now let's see what's happening with Dr. Strange move. I'm going to go queen to c6 and try and take some more stuff. And let's see, Air Trambo, I guess I'll just go rook takes c4. I feel like that one's under control. Me and Geography Wiz are in a race here. And I don't know who's winning the race, but he has the bishop. So can I slow him down a little bit? I'm going to go d5. I have to get my guys going. Try and open up the queen side against chess 24 and see what happens. I guess I'll try something like rook to a6. Just maybe try and get in there on that side with some more pieces. Dark Prince attacked my rook again. I'm just going to go rook a4 check and push my h-pawn. And I think I got to be happy about that. Now, what's happening with Muhit here? I thought this was going to be a draw, but now I'm wondering if I got bother him by getting my queen into his position. I'm going to try queen g5 and see. Maybe I can get to take some stuff. Okay, here come the pawns in the Geography Wiz game. Now, how do I want to do this? And is he ever trading with just f4? I'm wondering. Okay, I'm going to go d6. Okay, king g7 from Kenneth. So now when I take if he takes my knight and I take his bishop, I think I'm almost forced to take his bishop here. So, but that knight is so, man, that knight is so strong. I really didn't want to do that. Okay, I have to take his bishop. And now, okay, king b5 from Dark Prince. I'm going to push my h-pawn. Lufus has gone queen takes e5. And what's happening here if I go d6? What is going on here with d6? Can he just trade queens on e3? Maybe, huh? He might just be able to trade queens on e3. That could be his intention. And if that's his intention, he's got an outside pass pawn. And this is and I have real problems here. So what is the right way for me to do this then? Maybe if I go king to f3, it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? So do I want to go? Maybe I want to go. Let me try b3. No, but then it's queen d4 is possible. His king is very close. If I saw Lufus draw for a long time ago, I probably would have taken it. But I'm not always looking for these draws on the bottom of the screen. So, and also, I don't know what the deal is with this bloody nose. I think I'll live, but we'll see. Okay, so d6, it's clear it loses. How do I stay out of queen trades? I don't know that I do. And I don't know. Maybe b3 is the best chance, but it's not good. Okay, so that was tough. All right, rook d2 from Geography Wiz. And I was just going to go king to e1. Chess 24. Rook to c8. So he's got kind of a minority attack going here. And I have to see. The good thing is I patched up my king side pretty well. Now I'm wondering, since his rooks have switched to the queen side, do I want to try something like h4? Oh, why not? Getting in the time pressure, let's get on with it. Kenneth has gone, queen takes f6, and I guess I'll just go e4. That position probably is about equal. Tired dad, I took a pawn, and then I'm going to run away with my knight. Where's a good place to run to? I think I'm going to run to b2. Maybe that other one can come over to d3, and maybe even go to f4 to pressure that side. Queen a4 from Dr. Strange move. And now I'm just going to go knight to f4. And queen a2 check from Muhit. Okay. I think the Muhit game is probably going to be ending in a perpetual. Maybe I win a pawn and he gets perpetual. Something like that. That looks like the most normal way for that game to end. Aldran Trobo's offered me a draw. I don't know when he offered me a draw, but he's been losing for a long time. So please offer draws only, at the proper moments. And queen d4 check from Lufus. And does that win? Let's see. I have to trade. I think Lufus is winning. He's got 2 connected passed pawns. Let's see. Dark Prince, I think I'm just making, well, I don't know if I'm going to make a queen, but I'm certainly bothering him. Queen d8 from Kenneth, okay? And now I'm gonna try f6 check just because it seems to discombobulate his queen. I'm sorry, Air Trambo. Yes, I offered to draw by accident because the board switched. Sorry about that speech then. Yeah, you're right. I did that's what happened. Yeah. When I offered to draw by accident when the board did the switch. Okay. So Muhit, I'm gonna take a pawn and he's gonna perpetual me, so I think I'm just gonna check him around some and see what happens. Bishop e6 from chess 24. I'm going to take on g5, pry his king open a little bit. I'm trying to make a queen against Dark Prince. Trying to win a pawn against chess 24. Let's see. Now, I think that I've about had it from Lufus. If I go king takes d4, he plays g3, and I can't catch it. So, good game from Lupus, not bad. So I think that's my second loss. And Geography Whiz when king e8, and he's giving me one of his passed pawns. I mean, I'm happy, man. Let me thank you. Those passed pawns, you got to hang on to them when you get them. Okay, so I'm just going to check Muhit, and then that's going to be perpetual. Let's see what to do here. I'm going to be up a lot of pieces against Air Trambo. And if I take the pawn, it's just perpetual check. So should I take the perpetual check myself? Walking my king in to gets mated on. Well, I don't know if I get mated. I don't know if I get mated, but it's not going to win. So it's ridiculous to think about king to h4. So I think I'm just going to take the draw against Muhit. Air Trambo trying to make another queen. Yeah, sorry once again, Air Trambo, about that. That was when the board switched. There was one game that was just a dead draw, and then that's what happened. Okay, chess 24. I went g3, and he's sacking a piece. Of course, it's not a bad piece sack, and I think it's a piece sack that I can't take. So I'm just going to go off with queen a1 and try and get some trouble, cause some trouble over there like that. Bishop d7 from Kenneth. And I guess I'll just he makes my rook go back. I guess I'll go back to f2 in case I need to double. and I offered a draw to Kenneth. I think it was a 3-time repetition, and that was a good game. Kenneth snatched a pawn on A5. I didn't see that. That could be a crucial pawn. So now, what's the deal now? I have to figure out how. I might have to try and mate him, which is not going to be easy. All right, I'm going to try to see if I can pry his king side open. Dark Prince, I think that it's almost over. I think that I'm going to be making a queen. Simul's been going for 2 hours, 25 minutes or thereabouts, or, well, actually 5 hours, 2 hours, 17 minutes. Normal Simul, pretty good. And now, let's see, chess 24 is coming in after me. He's gone bishop to h3. I got to be really careful now. I guess he may be threatening some stuff like I'm very worried about getting mated on g2. That is that could be a serious situation. Okay, I'm going to try rook to a7 and see how that goes. And now bishop a6 from Osmandia, and I could win the king and pawn easy, but I think the most accurate play is knight takes e6, but I think he just resigned. So Osmandi's got to be careful about those stonewall Dutches, okay? Sometimes we get into some really weird situation. Thank you, Osmandi, and be careful of the stonewall Dutch, okay? When I was a kid, I tell this story all the time. Petrosian was nice to me, and remember what he thought about openings like the Dutch defense. I mean, it's just too anti-positional. Okay, tired dad. I snatched a pawn in that game. That I snatched his c pawn. I'm tired dad offered me a draw, but I don't know in what position he did. Okay, queen f5 from chess 24. Okay, and now let's see. I feel like he's getting, he's getting in there somehow. I mean, what can I do to try and stop this? Okay, I'm going to try to get my queen over to the king's side for a little bit of defense. Some time pressure, but we should be okay. Don't know how the U.S. Championship's going today. Looks like everybody is still going. I'm relieved to get rid of the pass pawn from Geography Whiz. So king takes d2 is a real relief. And looking to see what's it looks like all U.S. Championship's been going for 3.5 hours, and looks like no decisive results. That's a pretty serious business. Nakamura just won. Thank you, Sandro. So Naroditsky's having a rough one, huh? Naroditsky is not happy here. Okay, queen takes. All right, so chess 24 has taken on f1. I think I got to take with the rook. Kenneth is going rook ac8. I think that I have to try to mate Kenneth. It's either all or nothing, so I'm just going to go h4 and try and mate the guy. What else can I do here? After he took my a pawn, I realized that if I don't do anything, he just has a pawn, and he's just gonna creep up on me and win the game. So I got to try to open up his king and see if I can get at him there. All right, so Kenneth is thinking. I think I've lost 2. My best Simul was last month, where I only lost 1 game. Okay, so Geography Whiz is trying to make his 2-pass pawns, and I'll have 2-pass pawns also. So let's see now. Geography Whiz, I wonder. Let's see. Yeah, this could get interesting. All right, I'm going to try e5. and he's going to take mine, and we got to see what kind of action is going on there, because it's getting strange. Kenneth is trying to open me up on one side, and I understand he's trying to get some bishop to a4 business going. And let's see. I mean, how can I get in there and try to mate him? Is the best thing I can wonder here. Let's see. Do I move? He's threatening. Let's say he's threatening to take on b3 and bishop to a4. So I don't know if I have time to take on g5. Not sure about that. All right, I think now I could try to sack the exchange with pawn takes c4. Okay. I think I see something. All right, pawn takes c4. I'm gonna do. Maybe I have some pin situation that I could use. All right, now geography whiz. This is a messy position. Knight to d4 for me and make him go a6. So Nakamura is doing it right then. So Nakamura has, what did he do? He hasn't played Kamsky yet. He drew with Wesley So. Wesley So lost to Naroditsky. So I think Nakamura is clearly in the driver's seat there, as many people thought he would be. I mean, a lot of people just thought it was going to be a race between Nakamura and So, but I still think Hikaru is a little bit better than Wesley at this point, but Wesley's coming up fast. All right, so what's happening with geography whiz? What does he want to do? The thing is, if he goes a6, that means he's pushing his pawn slowly. So what do we think about that? He pushes his pawn slowly, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm looking at stuff like getting my king to d5 sometimes. Also, I think that if he makes two pass pawns, okay, a6, yep, and now I'm just going to bring my king up. Some small time pressure here. And some tough games. A few games, sometimes I get greedy in these simuls, too. You know what I mean? Sometimes I should just make a draw instead of going nuts. Like in one of the games, I clearly overdid it. Probably, if I played some of these games in tournament games, I probably would make more draws, I would think. But in a simul, it's fun to just do stuff anyway. Okay, bishop c5 from geography. Sorry about that. There's some kind of noise in the background. And let's see. So we're seeing what's going on here. I'm thinking on geography whiz, can I just continue to bring my king in? I was thinking I should just go king to e4. Okay, Tired Dad has gone queen to d8, and I feel like this game is under control. How do I do it, though? All right, let me go b5. I still think I should be winning that d pawn on him at some point. Okay, queen to g4, f5 from rook f6, sorry, from chess 24. He's getting into time pressure. That could help me. I'm very happy here to offer him a trade of queens on g4. I feel like my knight on g4 could be a really tough guy to deal with. And some IM has challenged me to a game in the middle of the simul. Okay, now, chess 24 has played. Yeah, okay, he's gone queen to h7. So now, what is his threat? Does he just want rook takes h7, some kind of thing like that? So how do I want to do this? If I go bishop takes, pawn takes, he's threatening rook g6, and I go bishop takes, and he goes, that's, I mean, I don't know, that feels like it's almost a right for me. Also, if I go rook to a1 or something like that, what's his continuation? Does he do? So I gotta see, and I'm looking at rook takes g7, and he takes with the queen, but then he gets his pawn takes, so I don't think so. So, and of course, queen takes g5 is met by knight h3 check. So, what is the right way to do this for me to try to defend? I'm thinking, okay, I'm just making sure that he's got these knight takes h7, knight h6s and stuff. Let's see. Rook a1, I sort of liked it for a second, but then I don't know. I wasn't really sure what knight h3 was. Whatever my play is, it has to go pretty fast. Okay, I'm gonna try rook to. I'm gonna try to get some back rank stuff going with him. Okay, queen to a3 from Kenneth looks like a pretty good move. Let's see. So he's attacking my bishop, and he might be having that bishop a4 threat again. Which is bothering me. So I think can I just protect my bishop with king to h2? All right, I'm going to just try that and see how it works. Pass pawns are coming from Geography Whiz. Let's see. Now I got to see if I can block them. Sometimes I'm going to go king to d5 and see if I can get my king in there. Tired Dad, I'm trying to organize an attack on his d5 pawn and go up 2 pawns. Okay, rook h6 from chess 24. That's the kind of thing I expected. All right, now I got to see. I'm going to go rook to a8. Bishop takes d4 from Geography Whiz. Now the question is, I don't have 2 passed pawns yet, but can he do something? I just have to keep my king around here. I think this position could be a draw. His king obviously can't come up to support the pawns, so he's just going to go h5. I don't really understand what he's going to do to me, so I can only move my king back and forth. I can't go up. Otherwise, he makes queens. So let's see if he can figure out a way to break me up here. And he's trying. Okay, now, one thing I don't want to do is I really don't. If I go f5, then he goes king back to d7. So that's one thing that I have to be careful of. So how do I handle this pawn structure? Is h4 the right thing to do? Just completely lock it. I think it is. And we'll see, what the deal is here, whether he can make any progress. If he goes f6, I ignore it. Okay, b5 from Kenneth. Kenneth is opening up the queen side, and I'm after his king. So it's getting messy over here. I'm going to take on g5. Rook to f8 from chess 24, and I'm very happy to trade rooks. And now f6 from Geography Whiz, and now like I said, he can't take it. Does he have any other ideas? g5? No, then f takes g5. Okay, so I just go king c4 and continue to hang out. Now, he's got to be a little careful. Suppose he moves his king back. I have to analyze this here. I don't think it works if I go king d5. He goes b3, I go e6 check. And I don't think that's a winning attempt for me at all, so I'm just going to go king back to b3. And we both have two passed pawns connected. Neither king can come up. I think that should probably be enough. That should be the draw. Okay, pawn to b4 from Kenneth. All right, here we go. So now, one thing is, I can't trade queens. I know that much. So I think I'm just going to have to try queen to d2 and get my queen, try to get my queen in there. Okay, chess 24, what is going on here? Wow, okay, so I get queen takes g5, and then he's getting to take on f7 he's getting to take on h2. So now, how do I want to do this? Queen takes g5. He goes, what does he play? So if I go bishop takes, so he gets this threat then. Is he threatening? So then he'd be threatening rook h1 mate and stuff like that. So that means I have to check him a lot. So, okay, I'm going to go bishop takes f4. And I'm hoping maybe I got perpetual check in there somewhere. Okay, Kenneth has offered me a trade of queens on c3. I feel like I must say no to that and just go queen to f4 and creep closer to his king. Geography Wiz is still playing. I'm just going to go king c4. I don't really understand. I think it's just a draw. Rook takes h2 from chess 24. And I guess I go queen takes g5 check. And after the way this deal was looking, I think I'm pretty happy that I got perpetual. Okay, Kenneth has just gone knight to g6, and that's going to force me to do queen takes d6. I can't offer trades of queens. That's one thing that is absolutely certain. Okay, now Tired Dad, I think I'm going to try to Tired Dad. He's moving pretty fast. We're only on move 22. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to go rook c1, g6 from Geography Wiz. Both our kings have to attend to the passed pawns. And now, is it just a draw from chess 24? I go queen to f6 check and repeat the position. And how does that look for me? Does that look okay? Okay, now, so Kenneth is gone bishop to a4. And now I'm going to play, I guess, rook to f1 is now. Hold on. All of a sudden, another thing has showed up in this position. Could my queen be getting trapped? It could be. So I think I'm going to have to try rook to d3 and queen back to h7, and now queen g5 check. And I think I made a draw against chess 24. That was a very hard fought draw there, and he just about had me. Queen c1 from Kenneth. But okay, now I'm going to go, can I go queen takes b4 and attack his bishop? King h8 from chess 24, queen f6 again. Queen g5 again. Rook takes c4 from Kenneth. Okay, and now what's happening here? I was just now I don't mind, since he's got less pawns, I don't think I mind a queen trade here. So I think against Kenneth, I'm just going to go queen to d2, and now I'm actually offering him a queen trade. And chess 24, perpetual check. And draw by repetition. Tough game there, chess 24. I don't know. I thought somehow that I don't know. Maybe he should have gone. Maybe you should have gone directly for mate instead of putting those rooks on the queen side like that. I mean, it seems like mate would have been a more normal thing to do there instead of putting the rooks there. Draw by repetition from Geography Whiz. Tired Dad. Let's see what's happening. This one is still going, and I'm up a pawn, and I'm trying to make progress, and it's not the easiest thing, but I think I should be winning. I'm up a pawn, and there could be more stuff on the way. I hope. I don't know. I'm going to keep the pressure on that D5 pawn. Perhaps doubling rooks on the C file could be something to do. I guess if Tired Dad is in England, then he could be, I don't blame him for being tired. It's pretty late there. And Sandro also, with the U.S. Championship, probably doesn't get to bed until like 6 in the morning. But that's, that's a time difference from Rome to St. Louis. Okay, now what's happening against Kenneth? The situation's cleared up. Nobody's getting mated, but, I mean, do I just take on H6 or do I take on A6? I feel like I'm up some pawns here, unless, yeah, I think this turned out pretty decent for me, after all. I got the D pawn is nice. Got an H pawn for what it's worth. Kenneth is in bad time pressure too. So thanks everybody, and happy Easter, happy holidays. Simul's going for about an hour and 38 minutes, so it's winding down, and hope to see everybody in next month. Tired Dad has just gone bishop to E7, and I'm going to go knight to C6. Bishop to B5 from Kenneth. And now, how do I get my passed pawn going here? Okay, I'm just going to take on B5 and then maybe just straightforward with D6. Or, let me see how to do this. Straightforward with D6. Okay, I'll push that pawn to D6, leave it there, and then see what the next thing to do is. I mean, I don't know if I want to push it to D7. He might get some knight F8 thing going. So I think if I lost only 2, I would consider it a success. Especially, I don't know what the heck happened with my nose in early on, but maybe some sort of sinus thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to see when the games are over. And I've been battling like a cold or allergies or something like that. So, but well, I'll see. I mean, I don't feel that bad. I don't feel like I'm about to keel over. So, we'll see what happens. Okay, rook to D8 from Kenneth, a sensible move. To get behind the pawn makes sense. And I guess now I'm going to go rook F5 and start to bother that pawn, and also get my rook behind his pawns also. So Tired Dad, we don't have a lot of games left. And also the game against Chess 24, that wasn't an easy one by any means either. That one I escaped by this much. I mean, just a little counterplay on the queen side was enough to bother his king and get me perpetual check. Okay, now I'm wondering about the straightforward D7 in the game with Kenneth. I think I'm going to go be straightforward and just push that pawn up and see if that pawn is going to win something. It's nice to be able to have the other rook to go behind it with the rook to D5, and then I don't see any way for him to attack it the third time with his rook. So my idea is simple. I just want to go bishop to C7 and dislodge his rook and win some stuff. Okay, now do I want to be really Mr. Accurate and go rook check, or should I just go rook c5? Or rook d5, but then maybe he stops. Okay, I'm just going to go rook g5 check, because sometimes I can take f7 also. Okay, and now, so he goes there, and now let's see, I should play rook to d5. Rook to c4, yep, that's a good move. It's forced. He must do that. Okay, and now I'm looking at bishop to d6. If he goes rook takes d7, I take his knight. If he goes knight takes d7, I go bishop to e7. I think that's a good move for me. And I guess maybe that's why I pushed his king over, so that his king couldn't take on f8. So this would just be capture. But this game was really another complicated game, because there were all kinds of things going on in the middle game there. I mean, I felt like after I played pawn to f5, that was a long time ago. I felt like after I played pawn to f5, that was good for me, because it established such a strong knight on e4. But it, he hung in there nicely, and then he got this. Then once he snapped my a pawn, I realized that I had to go nuts, and I was lucky that his king is just weak enough that it did make some counterplay. Okay, tired dad, and now do I want to trade knights on b5? Yes, I do, and have a pass c pawn. Looks nice here. So what I'm after here is that I still want his d pawn. Okay, knight to e6 from Kenneth, and I go bishop to e7. It's simple. If his rook moves, I make a queen. If his rook doesn't move, I take his rook. Seems fairly straightforward. Up, king h7. Okay, now, I suppose I could be all fancy here and not take his rook, but it must be right to take his rook. Okay, and he recaptured. Now, the next thing should be to try and dislodge his knight. So let's say, let me just go rook to b5. Let's do it two different ways here. We'll put the rook behind the passed pawn and try and dislodge his knight at the same time. King takes, and rook to b8. So thanks again, everybody, and Kenneth resigned. That was a tough Benoni, Kenneth. Very tough game. So that was very, a lot of difficult games today. I think I lost only twice. I had a few easy ones in the beginning. People have to be careful with their openings, because when I used to play in Washington Square Park, the guys there used to tell me that I wasn't that good a player. I just knew my openings. But let's face it, on a GM level, if you know your openings, it helps you get on top in the situation all the time. Opening preparation for something like the U.S. Championship, opening preparation is probably the biggest thing. I remember talking to Larry Christensen about that, and we were saying that it was the hardest thing. Sometimes you just found one thing to play against somebody, and you were just so happy. You were just so happy to find it that. And Tired Dad resigned. Yes, I was going to go c7 and win his d pawn, and I was probably going to be up 2 pawns there with the passed pawn. Let's see, Geography Whiz. Yes, it was a good game. It was a tough game. I felt like Geography Whiz, once he got the passed pawns going, that he must have had a better way to do it. I thought that he must have had a way to put more pressure on me with the passed pawns. Chess 24. I thought Chess 24 played a good game, except that instead of attacking me, he put his rooks on the queen's side, and that gave me some time to find a defense. Um, um, Ozymandias, from one of my favorite countries, Canada, where I seem to play more than the United States. Like I said, man, Stonewall Dutch, be careful about that. Learn the Queen's Gambit, learn the Nimzo Indian, learn something nice. Uh, Dark Prince, Dark Prince, bro, this game wasn't bad, although he got a solid Queen's Gambit accepted, and then Bishop to D6 messes it up because he gets pinned, and I'm trying to go D5, isolated pawn, so that messed it up. Muhit, I thought I was going to get it better than I did in the Samish, but he defended very well there, and that was in the Samish King's Indian. It ended in perpetual check. Lufus offered me a draw early in the game. If I saw it, I would have taken it. Probably I went a little bit nuts with this G4 stuff, and after that, he defended very well. And Dr. Strange move, that game was just a mess. That could have gone either way because things were hanging all over the place, but then one move cleared it out in my favor, and that was it. Grillmaster lost on time, and he was down some pawns. He's got to be careful. He's another one. His openings, he sometimes gets into such big trouble in the opening. Valai, he played a very good game. I had two connected pass pawns, but I didn't do it the right way. But he found very tough moves, and his exchange sack won the game for him nicely. Keynes, I thought that game was a little strange. I don't know about how I played the opening, but it became very tactical, and I think he sacked a piece unnecessarily, and it was just good for me. Pearl Hacker, what was going on there? Check Benoni. What happened, man? Look at the move. G takes H5. Why? Why to do such a move? Just play something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm opening up the H file and getting some nice attack going anyway, but G takes H5 just ends it immediately. And same for J. Russell. When you play the dragon, probably, he should learn the theory a little bit better than what happened because I got this H5 and I thought Black had to try some F5 thing to dislodge my knight, and then maybe then he gets a pretty decent position. Tired T Knight. Well, I just got into kind of a bad game, and if I didn't force a draw, it was going to be a loss. So that was a bishop opposite color, and I forced a draw. I don't know what happened with AK. He offered me a draw, but I mean, I was going to go C takes D5. So the position he offered a draw, actually, he blundered a piece. So C takes D5 was going to open up the rook and pin knight on C6, and then. Once again, Pokemon dude just got a terrible opening, and he was lost on like move 6. And once again, be careful of the openings. Tired Dad, the game just ended, and he was doing okay, but Black has to be careful in that kind of position. Alexander Ivanov played a good game against me in that Petrosian opening. All right, I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Happy Easter, happy holidays. I hope you enjoyed the Simul and all my blithering. And don't mind my bloody nose. I'm still alive. So thanks again, and hope to see everybody at the SimulMaster Simul in May. So this is GM John Fedorowicz for ICC and SimulMaster Simul. Have a good weekend, everybody. Have a good holiday. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.